happy-go-lucky side. I think after the semi we just partied all the time. But I think our motto was very simple at that particular time in those days, that cricket, we played cricket very hard on the field, and we used to party in the evenings.
But what lay ahead of them was no party.
Oh, crashing shot by Richards.
The West Indies were the most feared unit of the day. Since their initial defeat to India, they had powered their way to the final, culminating in an 8-wicket defeat of Pakistan in the semis.
There it is.
And driving them on was Viv Richards, whose calm aggression had taken the team to their second World Cup 4 years earlier. Their bowling attack was no less destructive. For almost a decade they had terrorized batsmen with their so-called fearsome foursome, players who used speed and aggression to intimidate the opposition.
When you look at the firepower in that West Indies bowling attack, Roberts, Garner, Marshall, Olding, 4 of the greats that's ever lived in the history of the game. Just amazing. And you think to yourself, you see that battery of fast bowlers, you think, where are you going to get a run? You think, where is India going to get a run here?
The Indian attack was rather more understated. Unlike any other team of the day, the bulk of their bowling was undertaken by medium pacers, players who used swing and seam rather than pace and bounce to beat the batsmen.
I suppose, go back long enough, medium pace was maybe more standard. But in the 80s, where everyone's perception of power was to do with powerful batting and more especially quick bowling, if you didn't have the West Indies quicks, if you didn't have someone of that sort of pace, you were deemed to have a weak attack.
But the English conditions seemed to suit this so-called weak attack. En route to the final, they had already recorded wins over England, Australia and their opponents in the final, the West Indies. The question was, could they do it again, and could they do it at Lord's?
Okay. Clive Lloyd called heads. It is heads.
We were unhappy to see the wicket. I can't even describe in words how much unhappy we were. It was total green, and knowing Garner, Michael Holding, Marshall, Andy Roberts, those type of bowlers they have, and they given a green top. Had we won the toss, we could have elected fielding first, because there were moisture on the pitch, and second, our seam bowler can use that condition much better.
We put India in, and we thought to ourselves, okay, all we have got to do is go out and bowl well, get our job done, and we should restrict India quite comfortably.
Everything seemed pointed in the West Indies' favour, but as they stepped onto the pitch, little did they realise that the greatest day in the annals of Indian cricket was about to unfold.
I think it was an extraordinary experience, I should say. First of all, playing at Lord's itself was a great experience, number one. And number two, the opening, playing the final of the 1983 World Cup, and this is a big moment in our lives.
But that big moment was to start in a bad way.
Oh, well done. That's beautifully bowled. Gavaskar has gone, the first wicket down, and Andy Roberts has taken the first Indian wicket, and that really is the one they wanted. Gavaskar, this great player, and it's first blood to Clive Lloyd's team.
The ball was moving around so much, I didn't know what was happening. In fact, Joel Garner was literally unplayable that day.
Joel Garner is almost unbearable out there at the moment from a batting point of view.
What happened was, once I got off the mark, and I decided I'm going to go for the bowling, because I know these kind of guys, these fast bowlers are the best fast bowlers in the world. They're going to give you a little bit for you to play the shots, and whenever there's an opportunity, so I said if they're going to bounce at me, I'm going to hook at it.
And that's a beautiful stroke.
That's why I got one hook for 4 Roberts, one hook for a 6 for Roberts. Then, but a best shot, one of the best shots I liked was actually when I was able to hit Michael Holding over his top for 4. That gave me immense satisfaction.
Srikanth was joined in the stroke making by Mahinda Amarnath.
Overplayed. Fine hook shot by Mahinda Amarnath.
Well, what a shot.
Together, they were to put on 57.
Safety away. Play backers can't catch that.
But then came a lapse in concentration.
That's out.
I think that is a ridiculous choice of shot. That's impetuous. That is the last ball of that spell of Malcolm Marshall, 6th over last ball, and the ball did not bounce. I expected him to bounce, so I had to play a cross-batted shot. I take kind of impetuous decisions sometimes. And the same thing happened on the ground also.
As Srikanth left the field, few could guess that they'd just witnessed the highest score of the match. And more wickets would follow.
Always bowling. Beautiful ball. Up came down the hill. That's the wicket that West Indies wanted. Amarnath goes for 26. Clean bowl by Michael Holding.
Once we got rid of Gavaskar early and got rid of Mahinda Amarnath, we thought to ourselves, listen, we are through the bulk of this batting, and we got through the rest of them reasonably quickly.
Sharma, one of the heroes of the semis, went for just 11. But if the West Indies thought they could call time on the Indian innings, they were wrong.
That's short, that's powered away. That's beaten Logan this time, 4 runs.
Under the rules of the game, the West Indies were forced to rest their fast bowlers for 12 overs and introduced part-time spinners, Larry Gomes and Viv Richards. And Kapil Dev was determined to capitalise. But his dismissal for 15 underlined the impatience of the Indians.
He's hit it straight down long on's throat, and that is a tragedy as far as India are concerned.
At 110 for 5, India were not where they wanted to be. Patil did his best to inspire the team with a knock of 27. But it was to the tail end that the team would also ultimately be indebted.
Six more. Madan Lal this time.
Patil and Madan Lal helped India steady themselves, but with Patil falling on 153 and Madan Lal following him just 8 runs later, the Indians looked well short of setting a defendable total.
And it looks to me that they're about to commit the greatest sin in limited overs cricket, to be bowled out in fewer than their available 60 overs.
India were down to their last man.
When I went into bat, I told Kirmani that you don't throw your wicket, I'm not going to get out here. They can't get me out here. And in the process I got hit on the head by Marshall's bouncer.
Ooh, what nasty ball.
Dujon came and he said, you're okay. I said, fine, nothing. I just took my stance quickly because I didn't want to show that you can get me out or you can scare me out. I just took my stance quickly and I said, okay, come on, bowl again.
Oh, stuck, and Sandhu stands his ground and strokes that one away wide of mid-on.
But with 5 overs left to bat, India's resistance would finally end.
Hold him. It's all over, that's the end. 183, all out.
I just remember walking off the field, feeling very happy with what we had done. 183 runs, 60 overs. There was no way India could restrict us to less than 183 runs. And that was just the feeling walking off the field. And we were all thinking, okay, 3 World Cups, 3 winnings.
We were very disappointed, in fact, to tell you the truth. I mean, we had worked so hard to reach this point, and then we thought, we had mucked it up.
As the teams returned to their dressing room, India's fans could only sit and wait for the worst. 183 was the lowest total by anyone in a Prudential Cup final.